pleased to welcome on James Faris, the editor of the Madison Business Review. He released an article yesterday about the stock market jump following Biden's victory and what the outcome of this election means for the economy. James, how are you doing tonight?
Colby, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, and so I want to start with this. You wrote your article about the stock market jumping up since Biden has won, but do you think the recent stock market increase has more to do with Biden's win, or could it also have maybe more to do with the announcement from Pfizer, the company yesterday, that they have a COVID-19 vaccine that has a 90% success rate?
Well, that is a great question, Colby. There are a variety of factors moving markets right now. And as you mentioned, the vaccine that has 90% efficacy reported between Pfizer and German company BioNTech, that is a major move of the markets, especially some of the economically sensitive industrials and materials names. Tech companies haven't done quite as well. Biden is thought by many on Wall Street to be neutral for markets. That's what a JP Morgan report a couple months ago pointed out, saying that it wouldn't have an overly big effect. Something that has driven markets upward is the fact that there's likely to be divided Congress as Republicans are expected to maintain control of the Senate. I saw coming into the election, most pollsters had about a 75% chance at a blue wave where Democrats would take the White House, hold on to the House of Representatives, and take the Senate from Republican control. So no blue wave means, well, it could possibly mean a smaller stimulus package, since Democrats have been pushing for a larger stimulus package. So that could be seen as bearish. But of course, the fact that there will likely not be major increases in corporate tax rates, and as far as regulation goes on big tech companies, no Green New Deal, all of those things are seen as relatively bullish for the market. So those are some of the things. The Biden presidency, as of right now, is kind of neutral in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, James. And so I want to branch off something you just said. A part of your article, you talked about the antitrust actions being taken against some of these big tech companies like Google, Apple. What do you think will be Biden's, what do you think Biden will do with that sort of thing, with the antitrust action, and what do you think the impact of that could be on the economy?
So what's interesting, Colby, is that a lot of the pressure coming against Google and its parent company, Alphabet, has been coming from the right. Google's lawsuit, or that the Department of Justice filed, is very reminiscent of one filed against Microsoft about 20 years ago. And Microsoft was forced to stop some of its anti-competitive practices where it bundled Internet Explorer with software packages. And so Google has, of course, dominance, about 90% market share in the search engine space. They are arguing that they do not have a monopoly over that, and that their practices, for example, having Google be the default search engine on iPhone and Android phones, they think that's because users simply prefer Google, and so they don't see that as anti-competitive. I know that they see it really as we are successful and we should not be punished for that. Also, it's very unclear if, in fact, antitrust action against Google would be good for consumers, or if it would just be good for some of their competitors in the search space, like Microsoft with Bing. As far as some of the others, for example, like Amazon, it is possible that we'll see less antitrust regulation against them, but I think that's kind of up in the air right now. I think there are bigger fish to fry as far as the election results. Number one, making sure that there is a clear win for Biden and that it's not contested. And then after we get past that craziness, hopefully sooner rather than later, I think stimulus is going to be a top priority. I think stopping the pandemic is clearly going to be a top priority. Administering and delivering the vaccine. All of these things will take precedent, in my opinion, over something like antitrust action.
All right, thank you, James. And that is all the time we have for you today, but I appreciate you coming on. And James Faris, he runs the Madison Business Review, and will be continuing to follow the stock market and the economy all year long.